And when we talk about the other major business, of course, dealing with the cable ecosystem, it is ESPN. And so what are the expectations there? Since you've been back, I assume you've been thinking a lot about it.
I have.
What is the conclusion in terms of the future of that? A lot of people have been very much focused on when are you going to take it to a fully streaming opportunity and move it essentially away from the cable ecosystem. But is there more that you're thinking about?
Well, let's talk about sports first, which obviously that's ESPN. If you look at today's media landscape, sports stands very, very tall in terms of its ability to convene millions and millions of people all at once. There's almost a guarantee that that occurs. It's an advertiser's dream. There's a great demographic there. It lends itself to technology in many ways, both in terms of coverage, distribution, and consumption. And our position in that business is very unique. We have a great brand. We've had a great business. And we want to stay in that business. That said, we're going to be open-minded there, too, not necessarily about spinning ESPN off, but about looking for strategic partners that could either help us with distribution or content. But we want to stay in the sports business.
What would a strategic partner look like with distribution or content then for ESPN?
Well, I think you could, again, I'm not going to get too detailed about it, but we're bullish about sports in general as a media property. There is an inevitability, by the way, you raised it, to taking ESPN and direct to consumer.
Yeah.
We haven't said when, but we do know that it will happen.
Is it sooner than you had thought, let's even say 7 months ago?
No, I think I'm much more certain about when, but not prepared to say when that is. I won't say whether it's sooner or not, but I'm enthusiastic about it.
Why are you enthusiastic about it?
Because I think sports, again, I think sports stands tall in a sea of tremendous choice and is, in many respects, an advertiser's dream and a consumer's dream. I mean, it's a very, very attractive, sports is a very, very attractive medium. And we have a unique position in it. We feel that we should stay in it, but we'd like to.
You're spending more and more money to do that. I mean, to keep the NBA, to keep the NFL, essentially renting the content that keeps this thing alive. I mean, is that the best use for your capital?
Well, I know a lot's been said about renting versus owning, and if you can rent it and continue to be profitable from renting it, which we have been and we believe we will continue to be, then there's real value in staying in it. We have great relationships with Major League Baseball and the National Hockey League and various college conferences, and of course the NFL and the NBA. And it's not just about the live sports coverage, of those leagues, those teams. It's also about all the shoulder programming that throws off on ESPN and what you can do with it in a streaming world. As a direct-to-consumer proposition, I talked about it being technology friendly in a way. There's so much more that can be done with it in terms of the way it's distributed, the way it's consumed. It's interesting just thinking about the Apple announcement of a few weeks ago and what the possibilities there, that device lends itself to in terms of sports. So I think it's a business that we want to stay in. We're realistic because it has been.
But what would be the advantage of having a strategic partner then? I mean,
well, it could be a variety of things.
Could it be a joint venture? Could it be somebody taking an ownership stake? I mean,
possibly. Yeah, everything's on the table.
And why would you do that? I guess I'm trying to understand why you would. You already have 20% owner in
If they
Hearst.
come to the table with value, whether it's content value, whether it's distribution value. Whether it's capital, whether it just helps de-risk a business to some extent, but wouldn't be the primary driver. But if they come to the table with value that enables ESPN to make a transition to a direct-to-consumer offering, then we're going to be very, we're going to be very open-minded about that.
All right. Well, you've told the world now. I mean, but have you already been looking at that as an opportunity, perhaps even having conversations about it?
We have been looking at it as an opportunity. We've had some conversations, but I don't want to elaborate.